In the previous part, we were talking about orthogonal vectors, the normal vectors, and orthonormal basis. And now we are going to talk about the subspaces, or in fact, I should say the orthonormal subspaces, orthogonal subspaces. Uh, when we say that something is orthogonal, then the inner product of those two vectors should come out to be zero. Now, when we say that two subspaces are orthogonal, it means that you take one vector from one space, another vector from the another subspace, and they should be orthogonal. That is, uh, for any vector from one subspace and for any vector from the second subspace, if you take the inner product of these two, that should come out to be zero, and that is the meaning of orthogonal subspaces. Now, interestingly, we can talk about orthogonal complement. The orthogonal complement is something, let us suppose you have a vector space V, it's a d-dimensional vector space, and U be a m-dimensional subspace of V. So, for example, you say that R3 is the space that you are talking about, and x-axis is the subspace that you are that is U, and what is the orthogonal complement of this particular subspace? So all those vector which are which all those, so you take the set of all such vectors which are orthogonal to x-axis or any vector in x-axis, then that particular thing is a subspace, and that is called orthogonal complement of x-axis. And interestingly, you might think that if you take any vector in the yz plane, that vector any vector in the yz plane has to be orthogonal complement or orthogonal to the any vector along x-axis, right? So similar to that we are talking here. So let us suppose that we have a d-dimensional vector space V, and uh, m-dimensional subspace of V is U. So we are talking about an orthogonal complement of U denoted by U orthogonal. So we are going to say this particular, sorry, we are going to say this particular notation for orthogonal complement. So so this orthogonal complement is also a subspace of V and is d minus m dimensional. So and this is the set of all the elements of V, all the elements of vector space V that are orthogonal to each and every element of U. So that is U orthogonal complement, right? Or U perpendicular. So anything that you can means you can use for this particular notation. Now moving ahead, so the definition of orthogonal complement is this one, which we say that U is a subspace of V. So U orthogonal is also, or U perpendicular is also a subspace of V, subset of V, wherein every every element of U orthogonal has to be orthogonal to every element of U subspace, and that's how we define the U orthogonal or U perpendicular subspace. Now we will see that in fact we will definitely find that U a intersection U orthogonal will have just one element in common, and that's the origin. Okay, So which means that any vector v in V can be decomposed into two parts. One is in a subspace of U, another is in the subspace of U orthogonal. Uh, so in other words, we can say that every vector V can be represented completely by its projection in the subspace U and U orthogonal. So this particular portion is actually the projection in U, and this particular portion is talking about the projection over the U complement or U perpendicular. Now let us suppose that this is the basis vectors for U and these are the basis vectors for U orthogonal or U perpendicular. Now let us do some question to understand the orthogonal complement of the subspace. Let us suppose we have a we have a subspace generated out of these vectors. So now we need to find out the subspace or which is orthogonal complement to the subspace generated by these vectors. So what we can do, we can take every vector which is orthogonal to these three vectors. So which essentially means that, let us suppose you are talking about a u vector, then u vector has to be orthogonal to this vector as well as to this vector as well as to this vector. If you take such a vector, then it will be definitely will be orthogonal to all the vectors that are generated out of the linear combination of these vectors, right? Which means if I put them, if I put these vectors, if I put these vectors in the rows of a matrix, and if I take if I multiply u vector with this some generic u vector, then that matrix times u should give me a zeros, all zeros, because it has to be orthogonal to the first row vector, the second row vector as well as the third row vector. And that's how I can find out all possible uh, elements or all possible vectors which are orthogonal to these three, all the three vectors, and which is essentially the null space of the matrix that is made up of the row vectors uh, containing 101, 210 and 311. So that's what we have tried to uh, visualize or tell you in the hints. And since the null space is it's related to the fundamental theorem of the linear algebra, so all the things actually relates here in the fundamental theorem of linear algebra. So see, the fundamental system of or fundamental theorem of linear algebra also says the same thing. So any vector of the input space, so let us suppose A is a linear mapping, and any vector from the input space you take, so the part of it will lie in the row space, the part of it will lie in the row space, and the part of it will lie in the null space. So every vector can be written into two parts. So the first part that we can write in as a row space. So the row space part can be generated out of the linear combination of the rows of the uh, matrix, and the rest part of the vector can be written with the help of the basis vectors of the null space. And the null space is the orthogonal complement of the row space, because every row of the null of the matrix will be orthogonal to the every vector of the null space. Okay, and since it follows this dimensionality rule, this follows its dimensionality rule, and that's how you can confirm that the null space is the orthogonal complement of the the input space. Sorry, orthogonal complement of row space with respect to the input space. That is more correct term. Now let us say that we have a vector. This is 1 1 1, and we want to find out the plane orthogonal to this. So you take a vector that containing x, y, z, and if you take the dot product of this particular vector with this x, y, z, that should come out to be 0, and that comes out to be a plane, and this plane is containing all the vectors which are orthogonal to 1 1 1. Now another question that arises, like whether any two orthogonal vectors are linearly independent or not. So that comes out to be linearly independent, and with whatever inner product you choose, for any inner product this comes out to be linearly independent. Let's try to see how it goes. So we take a vector space V, and we have a understanding that we define the norm with respect to the inner product this way, right? Now we know that for any x and y, non-zero x and y, this will be fulfilled, because that's the property of the norm or inner product, that it is positive definite. Now if x and y are linearly independent, then any linear combination of x and y will generate 0 if and only if both the scalar multipliers has to be 0, right? So that's what we need to prove. So that's what we need to prove. So let us take this thing and let's take its inner product with x, right? So we have taken this particular expression, and we are trying to express with the help of the right linear property of the linear product or inner product, right linearity. So we come up to this. Now definitely this cannot be 0 if x is not 0, so this cannot be 0, and if this cannot be 0, and since y is orthogonal to x, so this is definitely, this portion comes out to be 0. Okay, so to make the expression, the entire expression, to be 0, this has to be 0, lambda 1 has to be 0. Similarly, if we take the inner product of this expression, this lambda x, lambda 1x plus lambda 2y with y, then you will get that lambda 2 is also 0. So ultimately we get that lambda 1 and lambda 2 has to be 0, so as to make this thing this thing 0. Okay, so that's all for this particular video. In the next video we are going to talk about more about orthogonal things and the orthogonal decomposition of a matrix. So thank you for now, and let's wait for the next video. Thank you.